This is the history of the Oldsmobile 442. The 442 was born out of competition between Pontiac and Oldsmobile divisions of GM. The high performance of the GTO version of the Pontiac Le Mans had proved an unexpected success midway through the 1964 model year. Oldsmobile's hasty response was to beef up their own popular Cutlass. The package was dubbed 442 based on its combination of 4-barrel carburetor, 4-speed manual transmission, and dual exhausts. In 1965, with the GTO receiving GM corporate sanction to receive their full-sized car's 389 V8, Oldsmobile followed suit and replaced the 442's standard 330 with the new 400. The definition of 442 was then restated as referring to 400 cubic inches, a 4-barrel carburetor, and 2 exhausts. Other touches added to the 1965 were chrome body side scoops adorned with 442 badging, chamber dual exhaust pipes, chrome single snout air cleaner, and 442 badging on the dash.
That's me, Shorty Powers, checking out an Oldsmobile 442. What's the 442 got to offer besides all-around good looks? Plenty. The big 400 cubic inch V8, rocket V8 with 4-barrel quadrajet carburetion. Great road sense. Built in with heavy-duty shocks, springs, stabilizers, front and rear. The 442, for performance, for pleasure. Try out a 442 yourself. Any one of 5 different models at your Oldsmobile dealers. Step out front in style and action. In a rocket action Oldsmobile.
1966 442 shared a modest facelift with other Cutlasses. It came with a 400 cubic inch engine with a single 4-barrel carburetor. Inside, a revised instrument panel featured 2 round pods for the speedometer and other instruments, replacing the horizontal sweep speedometer of 1964 and 65 models. But the rest of the basic dashboard design was unchanged. For 1967, the 442's styling and base engine remained the same. Unlike previous years, which the 442 option could be ordered on either baseline F-85 or upscale Cutlass models, the 1967 442 package was based on the top-line Cutlass Supreme series, including the Sports Coupe with center post, Holiday hardtop coupe, and convertible. Standard equipment on all models included strato bucket seats or no-cost notchback bench seat, full carpeting, expanded vinyl upholstery, heavy-duty suspension with rear sway bar, and wide oval tires. Like all cars sold in the U.S. for 1967, the 442 came standard with a group of occupant protection and accident avoidance features mandated by federal law. This package included an energy-absorbing steering column and safety steering wheel, padded dash, recessed controls, 4-way hazard flashers, and a dual-circuit brake hydraulic master cylinder. Hey, by the way, before we continue, I'd like to tell you about some freebies. Yes, some free merch from the Boca Brothers. We've got t-shirts, plenty of them, and we will randomly be picking subscribers. So make sure and subscribe and possibly win a Boca Brothers Car Reviews t-shirt. Again, we've got free merch to subscribers, so make sure and subscribe today. Now back to the history of the Oldsmobile 442. The 442 became a separate model from 1968 through 1971. The engine was based on the new 455 V8s. In 1968, Oldsmobile partnered with Hurst Performance to create the Hurst Olds rather than just adding Hurst shifters as with earlier models. The limited regular production run of 515 Hurst Olds started out as regular 442s, but were treated to numerous distinct enhancements, both cosmetic and mechanical. All cars were painted Peruvian silver, a Toronado color with liberal black striping and white pinstripes, exterior and interior high-output badging, unique to 1968, and a real walnut wood dash insert. The 1968 Hurst Olds posted a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 5.4 seconds and turned the quarter mile in 13.9 seconds at 103 miles per hour. 1969 442s were very similar to the 1968, except the division tooth between the grills, the trunk-lit inlets for the taillights, wing windows deleted on holiday coupes and convertibles, steering lock ignition switch on the steering column, standard headrests were added to the front seats, and the paint scheme. Twin hood stripes were now available to highlight the new dual-bulged hood. The 442 numerals grew to nearly double the previous size. Optional disc brakes had updated single-piston calipers. The exhaust manifolds featured a new center divider for better performance. The Hurst Olds returned with a cameo white and fire frost gold stripe paint scheme, large functional ram air mailbox hood scoops, rear pedestal spoiler, and a 380 horsepower 455 cubic inch V8.
The crowds, the noise, the same old bag of notes. Wouldn't you like something new to rock out with? This is it, the 1970 442 with 455 cube V8 engine standard. Order it with the new W25 package and you get it all. Fiberglass hood with air-grabbing scoops, locking hood pins, super wide wheels, bucket seats, Hurst shifter, dual exhausts. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a 442?
1970 was the pinnacle of performance from Oldsmobile. In order to keep up with the horsepower arms race, General Motors dropped the cap on engine size in 1970, and Oldsmobile responded by making the Olds 455 V8 the standard 442 engine. Output was 365 horsepower and 500 pound-foot of torque. The revised body style and increased performance resulted in the 442 being awarded pace car duties at the Indianapolis 500 race in 1970. A high-performance W30 package was offered, which added a fiberglass hood with functional air scoops and low-restriction air cleaner, aluminum intake manifold, special camshaft cylinder heads, distributor, and carburetor. Rear shoulder seatbelts were optional at $23. Despite an industry-wide softening of muscle car sales, the 442 returned in 1971, with only minor modifications from the previous year. Engine output was down for 1971 due to a lower compression ratio, which affected all of GM's engines, as the result of a corporate policy requiring engines to run on lower octane regular leaded, low lead, or unleaded gasoline in preparation for the introduction of the catalytic converter on 1975 model cars. The 1971 442 was available in a hardtop coupe and convertible body type. The Sport Coupe disappeared for the first time since 1964, only to return in 1972. 1971 model year appearance changes included a black grille with silver surround, silver headlight bezels, round parking lights in the front bumper, and horizontal tail lights. By 1972, the muscle car era was unmistakably in decline due to the twin blows of rising insurance rates and increasingly stringent federal emission standards. The 442 name reverted to an appearance and handling option package, option code W29. The W29 option was not available on Cutlass Supreme notchback hardtops. The 442 option package, which carried a modest sticker price, consisted of the FE2 suspension upgrades, side striping, fender and deck lid badging, hood louvers, and a unique grille. The rear bumper sported cutouts for exhaust pipes, but only when paired with the optional L75 455 cubic inch V8 instead of the standard engine. Interior trims differed on each 442 body style. Originally expected to debut for the 1972 model year, the new Colonnade body style was delayed until 1973. due to an auto worker strike in 1972. The body was redesigned to feature massive 5-foot-long doors and energy-absorbing bumpers. The rear windows were fixed, and the roof was reinforced in anticipation of rollover standards being imposed by the government. These cars were a few hundred pounds heavier and slightly larger than the 1972s. Consistent with 1972, the 442 option remained a handling and appearance package and was available on the Cutlass and Cutlass S. It consisted of a louvered hood, FE2 suspension, specific grills, emblems and stripes. Items such as dual exhaust and super stock wheels were optional, reflecting an industry-wide weaning of U.S. consumers from large, powerful cars. Interior trims for the 73 442 included a cloth vinyl or all vinyl bench seat and rubber mats on the base Cutlass coupe, while Cutlass S included full carpeting on the floor and lower door panels, wood grain trim, deluxe steering wheel, and more luxurious cloth and vinyl or all vinyl bench seat, or optional swiveling straddle bucket seats with vinyl trim that could be rotated 90 degrees for easy exit entry. Center console with floor shifter was optional, with either the 4-speed manual or turbo hydromatic transmission. The 1974 442 received the same facelift as the other Cutlasses that year, including a revised grille and new flush taillights over a newly mandated 5-mile-per-hour rear bumper to match the similarly mandated front bumper introduced in 1973. It remained a handling and appearance package available on both base Cutlass and Cutlass S Colonnade coupes. The 1975 442 received revised vertical bar grills and continued with vertically stacked taillight lenses. It was once again a handling appearance package on base Cutlass and Cutlass S coupes, with content similar to previous years. Radial tires became standard equipment, along with a GM high-energy electronic ignition. All engines were mated to catalytic converters, which required use of unleaded gasoline, and spelled the end of true dual exhausts. With the economy now a selling point following the 1973-74 energy crisis, the 1975 442 and most other Cutlass models no longer included a V8 engine as standard equipment. For the first time since its 1964 introduction, the 442 came standard with a 6-cylinder engine. Interiors again consisted of bench seats or optional swiveling straddle bucket upholstered vinyl. Revised door panels featured pull straps. The console remained an option with bucket seats. The 1976 442 shared a new aerodynamic sloped nose designed for NASCAR, with split grills and new quad rectangular headlights with Cutlass S models, along with revised lower sheet metal with fewer creases than the 1973 through 75 models. The 442 option was offered on Cutlass S coupes and was once again an appearance handling package. Engine transmission offerings were unchanged from 1975, except that the 260 V8 could be ordered with a 5-speed manual transmission. 1976 was also the final year for the 455 Rocket V8. Interiors again consisted of bench seats or straddle bucket seats. The 1977 model year was the last for the 1973 vintage Colonnade body. The 442 was the only Oldsmobile intermediate to feature the NASCAR sloped nose from the 1976 model, with the Cutlass S switching to an upright nose similar to Cutlass Supreme models. Engine offerings were revised, with Buick's 231 cubic inch V6 replacing the base model 250 inline 6. The 442 model continued on the downsized A-body platform introduced for the 1978 model year. The 1978 version of the 442 was an option package on the semi-fastback Aeroback Cutlass Salon, which was now the entry-level trim of the best-selling Cutlass range. It was offered with all powertrains available on the standard Cutlass, including the 231 cubic inch 2-barrel V6. A 3-speed manual transmission was standard, and a 3-speed automatic was available with all engines. A Borg-Warner 5-speed manual was offered with the 260 V8, and a 4-speed Saginaw manual with a 305 V8. Distinctive trim elements included contrasting stripes along the rocker panels, lower doors, and wheel wells, badging on the rear trunk, and interior emblems. All other options offered on the Cutlass Salon were available with the 442 package. The 1979 442 remained based on the Cutlass Salon body style. The Hurst Olds rejoined the lineup this year, based on the Cutlass Calais. The 442 moved to the notchback Cutlass Calais for 1980, with some of its performance heritage returning as it gained a larger 350 cubic inch Oldsmobile V8 engine, not available on other Cutlass models. It included W30 badging on the front fenders above the side marker lights, with less dramatic graphics than before. Otherwise, the car shared identical powertrain with the 1979 Hurst Olds, also available only in gold over white or gold over black paint. A total of 886 were built. The MSRP of a Cutlass Calais in 1980 was $6,919.57. By the way, the 442 was not available from 1981 through 1984. In 1985, the 442 name was revived. All 1985 and 1986 442s used the already sporty Cutlass Salon model as their base platform. Due to cost concerns, for 1987, it was decided they would use the less expensive Cutlass Supreme model to base the 442 on. The package included a beefier drivetrain, chrome-style steel wheels with gold trim, manually inflated air shocks in the rear, always silver at the bottom, and gold body stripe decal package, dual snorkel air cleaner with chrome lid, mandatory AC and door panel 442 emblems, with few exceptions, vinyl tops, painted pinstripes, chrome outside mirrors, and wire wheel covers, for example. 442s could be ordered with much of the optional equipment found on other Cutlass models. There was a 6th generation 442, but maybe we'll get to that on a later video. Well, there you have it, the history of the Oldsmobile 442. Let us know what you think. Let us know what your favorite year of the Oldsmobile 442 was. Leave your comments below. Hey, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell for future video notifications. Again, thanks for watching the Boca Brothers Car Reviews.